Welcome back to Yorkshire Man Modelling. In the last build we got it up to this stage, so now it's time to put the undercarriage on and hopefully we'll get it all finished pretty quick. As you can see, I'm just cleaning any flash, seam lines, anything like that off of the wheels. There was a little bit, not a lot. Right, I'll speed it up and you can watch me doing the build twice as quick. Catch you in a bit. In this stage I'm going to glue the canopy on. Now the way I do it, should I say, is I use a cocktail stick and I put tiny dots of super glue on where the canopy is going to sit, and it is little tiny bits, as you can see. And the reason I use super glue is because the normal glue, it focuses the canopy up, but so does super glue. It just doesn't seem to do it as much. Now if you're not used to using super glue, or if you're a young viewer, a young modeler, I'd recommend just using tiny drops of the original glue, but that's up to you. But this is just my method. But if you're going to use super glue and you're young, make sure you've got adult supervision. And as an adult, get ready for sticking your fingers together, because I've done it lots. Anyway, we'll crack on. What I'm doing here, I'm putting a second coat of that silver down, and I'm mixing it about 60% silver and about 40% water. And it's a really thin coat that doesn't hide any of the panel lines, but it helps stop them brush lines appearing as much. I do eventually paint another coat of this on, because it's the only way you get rid of it. You do find that colours like silver, white, there's certain colours you just have to paint a lot of coats, and then other colours, just one or two coats tends to do it fine. Right, we'll speed up the video and see you in a bit. I've mixed up about 60% paint and 40% tap water, and I'm now going to apply this as the upper coat, the main paint. But as you can see, I'm already having a problem. The actual paint is separating, it's not sticking properly to the kit. I've had this before. It always tends to be when it's an umbral paint, and in all honesty I can't remember it being any other. But I have found if you persevere with it, put your first coat on, allow that to dry. When you go again with your second coat, and especially a third coat, but mostly the second, the paint will take very nice. It's as if you've primed it. Now I always prime my kits, except for I'm doing a special like this. Look, you can see how it's just pulling away from the actual face, the surface of the kit. There, look. I don't know. It's weird how it does it. It's as if the paint's gone off. All other paints have gone on fine, and then you get this. It's really strange. Maybe I've overdone it with water, but yet I've mixed 60-40 with silver and other colours. Right, it's dried now. You can still see it's very splotchy, right, where the paint's not gone on evenly, smoothly. But that's the first coat that we're done. This is the second. I've just mixed it up again, probably a bit thicker. It's about 70-30, 70% paint, 30% water. And as you can see, this is going on lovely now. It's probably a bit, in my view, a bit too thick, because I think it's going to cover up a bit too much detail. But looking at it, it's going on nice. There you go. That's the only problem with these. When you've got up against cockpits and stuff like that with these brushes, they're a little bit too big. But I'm doing it where you're only using the ones you've got, so we've got to work with it. You work with tools you've got. There's no point wishing for stuff you ain't. Another one is when you're not using masking and that, you're trying to paint these lines by hand, and it's a lot harder than it is if you're doing it using masking, because you just blot the paint on. You don't have to worry. And it's the same with spray gun. There you go. It is. You can see it's taking fantastic. So I'll see you in a short while we speed this up. I'm just mixing up the final fur coat. It's going to be about 60-40, 70-30 mix. It's a bit of a guess. But you can see that second coat's dried lovely. It's a nice uniform coat. And this one is probably more than 60-40, because if you look, it's spreading out evenly. Really smooth. So I'll blast this on, and then that way it'll be finished in my view. 3 coats. If you need more than that, this is a lot of paint. You're going to make all your panel lines, your edges disappear, your details. So we'll blast on. I'll show you my painting a bit more, and we'll catch up in a bit. Right, I've finished touching up, you know, where I've spilled the green over into the silver, or the other way around. And now I'm painting details. So this is the fuel boom, I believe. But just small details like the fuel boom, the little bit of it's a silver here and there in wheel arches or at the front, anywhere where you think it needs a touch up. I'm doing it now before I start the decals, and that way most of the painting should be complete then. It's time to do decals. This is the sheet from before, and the decal positions are here on the box art. They're in the squares, so you could tell the difference between them and paint, because paints are just a number. So we'll start with that one and the round one as well. So all on that wing there. So first off, find your decal sheet and find the number you need on the decal sheet. There you go. Right, cut this out now. I just use scissors, or you could use your craft knife. It all depends on what you want to do. Once you've cut it out, dip it in water for a little while, get it wet, and then just leave it. You have to leave it for about 30 seconds, a minute, and then the decal should start to slide. And then once it's ready, put some water on the kit where the decal's going to go, like so. And just get your decal while it's still on the piece of paper and just slide it off. You can use your finger, the brush, but I just use your finger usually. And there you go. Once it's off the actual sheet bit, oop, stuck to my finger. But once it's off, there you go. And then you can push it slightly into place with your brush. See, then once you've done that, you've got it in your place, just start to try it out, press it down so you move any air from underneath it. There you go, that's a little bit straighter, and then just rub over the top to remove any excess water. Now for the circle, what I tend to do is, once they're in, you've got it in position there, refer to the box art where you want it to be exactly, and use the panel lines so you can see just where it's meant to be seated. It's about right. Just remove. That's it. It will just catch in on the other decal there. It's better. That's it. Right. Now just soak up any excess water, but starting in the centre of decal, start and push any water or air that's trapped underneath. And as you're doing that, it'll help the decal sit down so that it sinks nice and flat to the actual model. But you can see that it's gone down there lovely. To say these are just getting put on with water, they're fine. They're very thin decals as well. You've got to be careful with thin decals because they can rip. There you go. That's all you need to do. Right, we've done decals, so we're moving on to the last stage. So I've cut front sprue the piece that fits right to the nose of the aircraft, and I'm going to glue that on now. I didn't do it before because it's so thin and fragile. I was always worried about breaking it off. But we'll put it on, and then I can paint it and that once it's all dried. So you go a bit more poly cement. I've just scraped away a tiny bit of paint where it's going to sit, and then that way you're going to get a good bond. Oh, it's tight. Have another go. Just like a bit. I don't want to flood it. There you go. That's it. Now she's took. Straighten her up and moved it. Oh, bloody hell. There you go. I'll just scrape a bit of paint off where the missile will attach to the missile rail on the aircraft. And then what I'll do is I'll glue them both to the aircraft. I'll just do a quick test for it and you'll be able to see whether they do, and then you just glue them on as if you were gluing just a normal part. Yeah, there you go. They go like that. Yeah, don't seem too bad as it goes on. Yeah. I've just painted the rod out the nose at silver. And there you go, it's finished. And I'll put out some photos now that we can sit and look through. And in my view, I think for a starter kit, doing it with only the paints that come with it and basic tools, I think it's turned out lovely. The decals are even better than what I thought. They're a very good decal that they've gone on fantastic. There's very little silver in. I've really enjoyed building this starter kit, and the underside looks exceedingly nice, and close-ups on some of them decals. I'd just like to thank you for watching, and I hope that it's helped people when they're first coming into hobby, and give me a like and a subscribe. It'll help me out a lot. Bye.